Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm real.
Real?
The Sun Centre and everything.
Yeah, dump. Anyway, we are the Office Blokes, two other YouTube channels, Patreon page, social media merch, all that good stuff. If you click the link in the description, it will take you where you need to go. And, you know, we all get a little bit of pleasure every time we click that link.
And it's free.
And it's free, yeah. Free pleasure. So we got a message on Discord about a video, what if Yellowstone erupted tomorrow? And the one they suggested was 15 minutes long, so I found a shorter one.
Yeah, well done.
It's not the right one.
It's not the right one. I watched a documentary on this years ago, though, and it's basically a super volcano underneath the whole of Yellowstone, isn't
Was it?
Like a extinction level event if it goes off.
Wow.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
Right now, in the United States, one of the world's largest volcanoes is gearing up to explode. It's known as the Yellowstone Volcano. And it's not just any regular volcano. Nope. It's a super volcano. If Yellowstone decided to erupt, the results would be devastating. But how bad would they be? Is there anything we can do to stop it?
Nope.
Would it affect the entire world?
Yep.
And how would this change our weather?
Shit.
This is What If, and here's what would happen if the Yellowstone Volcano erupted tomorrow. Located in Wyoming in the United States, Yellowstone has erupted 3 times in the past 2 million years. This has led some people to wonder whether we should be worried about another Yellowstone eruption in the near future. And by near future, we mean probably in another couple 100,000 years. But instead of waiting so long, why don't we find out what would happen if the eruption took place tomorrow? If you live in North America, there would be virtually nothing you could do to prepare. Now that this supervolcano has exploded, well, first, what makes Yellowstone a supervolcano anyway? Well, apart from it being larger in size, a supervolcano also produces a much more massive explosion. Most of the time, when we think of a volcanic eruption, we think of the hot, molten lava spewing down, covering the surrounding area. Well, while that would happen at Yellowstone, and it is something you'd need to worry about, it wouldn't be the only thing. In fact, the lava pouring out of the volcano might be the least of your worries. Surprisingly, there wouldn't be much of it. At least not as much as you'd expect from a supervolcano. That's because before lava leaves a volcano, it's first known as magma. But in this case, a lot of Yellowstone's magma won't be able to become lava. That's because it will be shot up into the sky, becoming airborne ash particles. And it won't just be any type of ash. These will be tiny, scorching little particles of jagged rock. Now this would affect nearly the entire United States and Canada. Tens of millions of people within 1,000 kilometers of the eruption would die. If you breathed the ash, which would be inevitable in a scenario like this, it would form a cement-like mixture in your lungs, causing you to suffocate. Buildings would collapse as just 30 centimeters of ash is enough to cave roofs in. And you'd still be in trouble even if you were outside that 1,000 kilometer range. Experts say that even the east coast of the United States would be covered with 1 centimeter of ash, which would still be incredibly dangerous to our human lungs. Even parts of Europe would see some ash, maybe a light dusting. And that wouldn't be the only effect they'd experience. Apart from the deadly ash everywhere, the entire world would experience a temperature drop. The ash lingering in the air would block out the sun, resulting in significant weather changes. The global temperature would drop by 10 degrees, an effect which could last as long as a decade.
Isn't that the thing that, you know, they talk about us needing, is the temperature to drop? Is this the Earth? I'm not saying...
Rebalancing itself.
Yeah, the Earth
way.
rebalancing itself. Yeah, something bad happens, then, you know, it gets back to normal and then things heat up again.
I suppose it's happened over the years, hasn't it? Over millions and millions of years, things like this have happened all the time, haven't they, I suppose?
So when this first happened, or the second time it happened, Mike, where were you?
Oh, I was on holiday at the time, so I just
In real.
managed to miss it.
Just wearing a loincloth in a cave, weren't you? In real, yeah.
Height of fashion in those days, I was.
The ash would also affect crops, water supply, and virtually everything else in the western part of the world. So, although you'd probably survive the initial explosion, you'd eventually suffer the consequences of the ash. Whether that means dying relatively quickly or living long enough to experience a colder, harsher world. Luckily, you can take a deep breath of ashless oxygen knowing that something like this will probably never happen, at least not in our lifetime. An eruption like this at Yellowstone would be known as a supervolcanic eruption. A more likely explosion at Yellowstone would be a hydrothermal eruption. This mainly involves a lot of steam and some rocks hurtling through the air. Although something like this would be bad, it wouldn't be nearly as scary as what we're getting here. A more likely eruption at Yellowstone would be a relatively simple lava flow. In fact, since the last major explosion, 600,000 years ago, we've had nearly 50 of these eruptions and 0 casualties. We know one way to almost certainly get killed by lava, and it involves dropping your trash into it. But that's a story for another What If.
That next one, what if we dumped our trash into volcanoes, looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got me
Intrigued.
intrigued, curious about that
I
one.
feel like that needs to be watched.
Next on the list.
It's terrifying stuff though, isn't it?
I like the What If channel.
Yeah,
We're not doing it for ages, have we?
No. But the volcanoes are frightening things, aren't they? You know, one of those goes, mean you're in trouble, aren't you? Big trouble.
That's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying what he said. Big trouble.
What would happen if you drop your trash into it?
I think it'd be even worse. But
Yeah.
I think you might have to watch the video just to might find out.
Talking about the Earth balancing itself, though, there's a theory that there's something like 40 crops left in the soil in most places before the soil becomes infertile, essentially. Yeah. There's no nutrients left in it because we're not giving back to it, we're just growing things in it. And that ash that covers the whole Earth and then seeps into the soil, things die, decay.
Cold weather.
You're just watching the soil just recharge to 100%, and then we do it all over again over a couple 100,000 years.
Anyway,
it's mad, isn't it?
Hopefully it doesn't happen, but
no,
you never know. You never know, dear.
You don't know.
Hope you guys like that too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.